Oh, they're calling me.
Dad!
I hear them.
Can you hear her?
Dad!
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna text my wife. Be like, get her.
Daddy!
Zip it. Daddy's working.
Dude, she came down here last stream. So you can't see it, but it's pitch black in this direction. And suddenly out of the blackness, I hear, Daddy. I'm like, oh God.
If they don't have you on the verge of a heart attack, they're not doing their job. It's how they show they
It's
love
like
you.
Some Shining level shit.
Play with us, Dad.
Oh God.
Yeah.
So King,
Yeah,
how's Animal Crossing?
it's great, man.
I
I
like
really
it.
actually like playing it for like 2 hours a day and just being done.
Yeah, it's pretty cool that you can do that too, because it's like, oh, I accomplished everything. That's fun.
Yeah, and it's like you
Feeling
can
like you don't have to
go
play.
crazy and farm more.
Mhm.
Well, it's like, so for those who are not initiated to the Animal Crossing way, it was much easier on the past things to like time travel, which means like if you got done with the day, you could flip it to the next day by changing the clock in the game.
GameCube.
Mm-hmm.
And then that gave you more stuff to do. And this, you can still do that, but you actually have to change your whole Switch's system clock, not just like an in-game clock.
Gotcha.
And they've gotten a few things that like some things will punish you. It's really not terrible, but they kind of found ways to like detect if you're doing that and
Interesting.
try to shoot
I
you
heard
down.
it's not like going forward that's too much of an issue. It's like if you ever go back, then you're just like, oh yeah, that's a
Yeah,
problem.
I went backwards and my turnip spoiled.
Ooh.
Remember, GameCube was the last console I or any of my siblings had any interest in. So remember playing it with rotating. So there'd be 4 of us, and we'd each have our house in GameCube world. And someone else would go and change the time on the GameCube to mess with it, and so you'd hop on and go, "What the hell happened?"
All the neighbors like say like, "Hey, it's been months since I've seen you." It's like, what do you mean?
My mother and I didn't figure out that my brother was doing stuff like that, so yeah, it took a while.
Cheater.
Did I break it?
Nice.
I was not a tech-savvy child.
All right. Well,
How
wanna
does
get
the stream
started?
look for everyone? Is
I
it-
guess
is
I
it
can.
coming
Let me
out
check
good?
it.
Can we check it just real quick?
Yep. I love when you get a commercial on your own channel. Oh, it's because I'm logged in my other account.
Yeah, but you sound good on stream.
I don't know. I can't
Cool.
hear myself because I'm. Oh, I do sound good. That was a statement, not a question.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No,
cool.
Yeah, everything's
I don't know. Maybe I
wanted-
do. Maybe I don't.
Okay. Elomir sounds good. I can
Hi.
hear myself.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Levy's a little low compared to the others, but he's clear.
I
Hey, Steele, you
can
there?
put myself up. I just don't have myself boosted like everyone else because I can't hear myself.
Oh, perfect.
There you go. I'll bump myself up a bit.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, I'm loud. I'm loud on the stream.
Let me. I can turn you down a little bit. I'll turn you down to like 145 or something. instead of
Okay,
160.
I'll let you do it.
Yeah, this is probably easier from here.
Okay, I'm done with the echo, so I'm gonna.
Test.
Yeah, that looks good.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I'm the most important here, so I mean,
Well, I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
because you're gonna have to be talking to yourself.
okay. That episode where I was talking to myself was not fun. I would kind of pause waiting for one of you guys to interject, and then you wouldn't. And be like, God, I gotta keep talking to myself.
It felt rude.
Yeah.
I told you I'm a
We
good
have
listener.
manners in this party.
And once we told you we can't hear, you're like, oh crap.
It was funny.
Sorry, I don't speak common.
All right. Well, we can get started with
Yeah.
episode 20. I think the plan is probably about at 9 o'clock. We're gonna draw the winners for the dice, right?
Giveaway automatically ends in 54 minutes, and then I'll
Oh, okay.
yank the first 2 winners, and depending on what dice they'd picked, I might pull some extras, and I'll cover the extra winners. So,
Cool.
because I think
Okay.
we're at like 80. Yeah, we have about 80 entrants, and some of which were coming back Yeah, we have like 79 daily X bonus entries. So some
Nice,
people
cool.
really wanted to win.
Awesome.
Someone
hear.
wants some dice.
And then
I
we
think-
will also be posting those winners on social media,
Yeah, so
Twitter and stuff.
I'll
So
contact them and confirm that they
Mhm.
still want their prize, and afterwards we'll announce them all over the place.
awesome.
No, I just wanted to win. I didn't want the prize. I just wanted to win.
Well, I will let you know if you win.
It's about sending a message.
Nice. All right. Well, welcome back, everybody, to Adventure with Advantage, our 20th episode.
Hey.
So that's pretty exciting. So I'll do real quick recap. So previously, the party entered the long abandoned lair of the dragon Caradun, but not before coming face to face with the dragon's skeletal remains. They found a small passage behind the rock that Bella surmised had been created by the kobolds who once served Caradun many years ago. They entered the passage and came across all sorts of obstacles, including a room filled with noxious gas, a lake of magma where they fought a large magma snake, a room full of geysers shooting scalding steam and occasional flame that they had to run through, and finally a small river of magma that blocked their path. At the end, they found Garigar bound and gagged in a cage. They immediately freed him, only to discover they had walked into kind of a trap, not necessarily an intentional trap, but a hunt. Nagar, one of the Dark Fangs, was having her hunters hunt Garigar, and whoever returned with his head would be honored, but now the party had become the prey as well. They were able to overcome the hunters through both skill and ingenuity, and finally arrived at the cave entrance. There, Nagar claimed that they would die as she and her companions would destroy Redbrook. Injured and exhausted, the party attacked Nagar and her hunting party. As things began to look dire, Steelscar was able to use his Ring of the Ram to literally turn her into paste, critting on 3 charges, dealing 108, I believe it was 108 damage.
104.
104. That is nuts. And so once she was dead, the party caught their breath, and Elomir claimed the bone hunter Nagar's bow as his own. So we will pick up from there. So at this point, you see her body is basically just smashed against a rock. And suddenly, right, as Elomir, you're sitting there looking over this new bow, Steelscar, you're looking over her body burst into this green flame, what remains of her body, and just starts to burn up till there's nothing left there anymore.
Can I touch Casimir's chest and give him 6 hit points?
Yeah, you can do that.
I do that.
Okay.
So he doesn't die on us.
Casimir is currently
Is-
down.
Is it a spell that's interacting with her body like this?
You don't know. You could roll a detect magic if you want.
I don't have detect magic.
Okay.
So that's
I have Arcana.
you.
I'm asking because I want to know if I could use a counter spell on it.
Gotcha. You could attempt to if you want, or you could roll an Arcana check. I will let you make that choice.
I'll roll the check.
Okay.
15.
Okay. At this point, I think you probably walked up to see because I think you were kind of far back. You've walked up at this point.
Mhm.
So you can't tell if it's magic or not. But based on the color of the flame, that was the same color as her eye, same color as what you saw on the other Dark Fangs when you guys encountered them in Andul.
It was green, you said?
Yeah, it's like a sickly green.
Hmm.
Would you roll 15?
I do have detect magic now that Levi helped me figure out that paladins were supposed to have more than I thought we had.
If you would like to cast detect magic, you can.
Should I, Levi?
I think she's going to be burned up by the time we do, so it's okay.
Okay.
I mean, at this point, you probably were just waking up.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will say you're not. Again, you can't detect if it's magic or not because Arcana checks don't detect magic for you. But you are familiar with this type of coloring. You've seen it. It tends to be necromancy related, specifically magic originating from a place called the Everdark.
It's got a lot of copper in it. It's glowing green.
That is what Levy says.
That's exactly what Levy says.
And we did wrap up before you guys killed the other guys, but we're just gonna say you killed them. So at this point, Bella and Garigar walk up to you guys, and everyone just kind of like looks at each other, catching their breath, looking around.
What are we waiting for? Let's get out of here.
I was gonna say she runs up to Casimir and is like, "Are you okay, Casimir?"
No.
There we go.
No. Bella's asking you if you're okay.
Let's go with no. I'm alive, but let's go with no.
She's like, I have a feeling that happens often.
You have no idea.
Second time she's seen you go down, so.
That is true.
Oh, God.
Is this like
Got
a
the
bingo?
bridge.
We need to make like a bingo board for.
So wait, so
Casimir going down as the free space.
One of them is Casimir goes down. Another one is Steelscar annihilates the whole enemy team in one turn.
Is that what it is?
No, before Casimir gets a turn.
Casimir goes
so-
down in the middle. Okay, I'll start making that.
At this point, Garigar kind of catches his breath and he's like, we must. Oh God, I can't do the voice. You guys got me laughing, so I can't.
You got this. You got this.
We need to make it back to Bloodthorn Castle immediately. I need to inform Lord Montiverre before there is an attack on any of the towns in Redbrook.
Sorry to tell you that, my friend. There's already been an attack.
He's like, what do you mean?
Well, Redbrook's kind of up in flames.
What town was attacked?
Which one was it?
Andul.
One to the
Andul.
Put it this way, to the west.
Andul was
Andul.
basically wiped out.
I guess I will, let me real quick switch the map
Yeah,
over to...
Switch the map so I can actually see it, because I can never remember.
Our memories suck.
I
Yeah,
know.
so
Came back
it's
from
still-
the dead again. So
It's still in flame over there.
Yeah, I mean it's only been a
It's
day.
been a day, yeah.
Did
Not
you switch
even
the screen?
24 hours. Oh, I'm sorry. I switched mine. I forgot I have to drag the little thing over for you guys. There you
Oh,
go.
I see it fine. What are you talking about, guys?
Screw you guys. You should see now.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm like, see, look at the map. It's on fire.
There you go. He's like, this is not good at all. I fear there are more towns will be attacked. We must make it back to the castle. He looks quite disturbed by this information that you're giving him, and he looks a bit, kind of like looks down and looks a bit guilty about it.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault. You couldn't have done anything. You were stuck here.
He's like, had I not let them capture me, I could have made it back in time. He says, now the blood of all those people is on my hands.
But it really isn't. I mean, I could say I'm equally responsible because I failed to take down one of them when we were challenged to a duel. So who's to say I might be just as equally responsible as you are? And trust me, I feel really bad about it.
He just kind of takes a deep breath. And he's like, well, it sounds like we could do a little better job then. I'd say we get going as quickly as we can to get back to Bloodthorn Castle and talk to Lord Montiverre. But before we do, let's please stop at my camp. I'd like to gather a few things before we go.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go.
It was right on the outside, right before we got in.
Yeah,
We
so
fought the fire
basically,
elemental?
yeah, so basically, you guys are still in the lair of the dragon. The entrance is not far. You can still see like the daylight and stuff. So you guys begin making your way out of the cave entrance and back northward. Basically, you're in a ravine, and you have to travel up the ravine and kind of go up a pathway that leads above the ravine. And you remember his camp was kind of looking over the ravine. So you guys make your way that direction back to his camp. Your horses are there waiting for you. They've not been stolen. So you guys make your way back to his camp. And he's just been very quiet the whole time. So you see him kind of go inside his tent and you hear kind of the sound of like things being shuffled around and moved about as he's collecting his things. And he eventually comes back out with a satchel full of stuff, kind of like some papers kind of like hanging out and stuff. He's like, all right, I'm ready to go. Who should I ride with?
I tell him he can ride behind me. Just in case we get attacked, my body will at least be able to block him.
Your body?
I might as well accept this role as reason.
He's like, all right, let this be off.
Yeah, it's probably a good call since Alec that I have is a bit scrawny over here.
Stand behind Brum.
All right, so you guys hop on your horses, and you make your way back toward Bloodthorn Castle. It's to the north. If you guys remember, it took about like an hour or two to get there. You're guessing at this point it's about noonish after everything that's happened. You set out pretty early from the castle to get to the Stonefire Flats. So you travel northward, up the Stonefire Flats, past Natal, and through Kalan, and then back to the familiar site of Bloodthorn Castle. Again, it's about an hour's trip to get there. So, by the way, if you guys want to, this can be considered a short rest riding back, since it's like a.
Oh,
you know,
I can play
light
songs on
drops.
the way back for Song of Rest.
There you go. While you're riding along.
Yeah, I'm imagining I'm riding my horse side saddle the whole time, so I can kind of like side saddle and just like drum my way along.
Nice. Okay. Sounds good. So you guys, the soothing, relaxing sounds of Levy's music playing. So you guys can heal up if you want to take a short rest, and then whatever he gives you, I think it's still a D8 at this point, or whatever it is, D6.
Yeah.
I don't know.
D8, I think.
Okay.
DAF healing, is that what it is?
Song
Yeah.
of Rest. 1d6. 1d6.
1d6.
Thank you.
I need to get myself a lute. All this drums is.
Oh, you still playing on the drum?
Oh yeah, I have bongos. That's all I have. Like I have bongos and I have a flute and I have a horn.
Oh god. So it's not. I wouldn't imagine drums are super relaxing, to be honest. Yeah, there you go.
You've never been high enough.
Does Elomir say this?
Yeah. Got some elven salves.
Is that why you got into portals, my friend? For grow areas?
Portals were there before I learned them.
It's a D6. Steelscar.
All right.
His bardic inspiration's a D8.
It is. For now.
There you go. I'll heal that.
Yeah, and I'll expend 2 hit die to heal up some.
I had to expend 4. What was that, 4 HP?
Yeah, I should probably expend more, shouldn't I? I'm
All
going
right.
through these things fast, so that's the whole problem. Actually, can I cast? No, never mind.
You were gonna cast that 10-minute healing spell.
Yeah, not worth it.
Okay,
Not worth
that's
it.
fine. That's fine.
It's really expensive for a level 2 slot.
Okay. All right, so you guys approach the castle. You see the familiar sight. You see the banners blowing in the wind. You can still see Undul, smoke rising. Like we just said, it's not even been 24 hours since that attack. Definitely the castle looks a lot more fortified. You're seeing, a lot more guards around. As you enter in the gates, and you're now in the bailey of the
I have a
castle.
question real quick.
Yes.
Before we get in, can I turn to Garigar and ask him, hey Garigar, what's to be done with Andul? Like, do you know any kind of contingency plan? Is it going to be rebuilt?
He's like, that seems like a decision for Lord and Lady Montiverre. I'm really not sure what their plans are. I think right now the plan would be just to try and get through whatever's happening, as I'm not exactly sure what his plans are right now. And then Bella kind of speaks steps in, is like, yes, I'm sure Father has a plan at this point. There are many homes in Nandul, and if we can reclaim it, I'm sure we will be rebuilding it. But for right now, we just need to get through this series of events, and hopefully we come out okay from this. So anything else?
No,
Okay.
I just wanted to see what he was thinking.
He looks kind of out of it, just distracted. You've not been around him too long, but he just seems kind of distracted, kind of staring off. So you guys eventually reach the keep, which is where you guys slept. It's where the family lives. And as you guys get inside, you pull the horses into the stable. You guys start to make your way inside. And as soon as you approach, Garigar turns to Bella and is like, Lady Bella, I must speak with your father immediately, please. It is very important that we speak with him now. And she's like, of course. And so you guys make your way in, and you see as Bella grabs a servant and tells him to get her father. As you guys go into the room where you guys had the meeting, kind of the war room, off to the left-hand side of the main foyer area of the castle. And Garigar kind of sits down in a chair and just kind of like lets out a heavy sigh and just kind of like closes his eyes for a second. So after a few minutes, you see Lord Montiverre, as well as the captain of the guard, Captain Arenal, enter the room as well. And as he enters in, he's like, Garigar, it is so good to see you, my friend. And he rushes up and gives him a big hug. And he's like, Are you hurt? Are you okay? Is there anything we can get you? And he's like, some food would probably be good, and we need to have a talk, my lord, about what I know. And Lord Montiverre is like, of course. And he grabs a servant and tells him to grab some food and water and bring it over. And he kind of sees you guys, and he's like, do you need anything at all? Anything to drink, eat?
Yeah, some food and water would be fantastic right now.
Of course. And he shouts to the servant to grab some for everybody. And so at this point, he, ushers you guys. He's like, please take a seat. I'm sure you're all quite tired.
Are we looking like pretty dirty and stuff like that, I'm imagining?
Yes. Yeah. As you guys got into the light, you could see that you were pretty sooty and just like, you can see just like kind of ash on you guys' faces, and your clothes are kind of burnt and kind of scorched in spots.
I'm definitely going to cast Prestidigitation on myself to clean myself up a bit. If anyone else wants it, I could maybe do it to ask, but not if you're not asking.
Levy, if he can remove some of this from me before I turn you up their seats.
I give him some magic finger wiggles, and just like dirt just flies off.
There you go. Yeah, so you just watch.
Steelscar just takes a seat.
He just takes a seat.
I apologize.
I clean Steelscar without him asking because I don't want to smell it.
You hear.
Clean.
Exactly. Elomir, you want to get cleaned or no?
I mean, sure.
If you give me a look, I can do it off of a look too. If you just give me a look.
Yeah, I look dirty.
All right. Give me, whoa, you're giving me some dirty looks. Okay. We're going that way, right? All right. Yeah, I cleaned Elomir up too.
Okay. All right. So you guys are all cleaned up. You see that Bella does that to herself as well. Cleaned herself up and cleans Garigar up as well. So at this point, the servants eventually bring in the food and drink. You guys just see, it looks like a tankard of ale, or a big tankard with some cups for you guys to drink, as well as some water and some food. So you guys are able to eat. So eventually, Garigar grabs a drink, takes a big drink of water. He's like, "All right, my lord. First, I just want to say, I am sorry for not being here. If I had not been captured, I think I may have been able to prevent the attack on Andul. So I apologize for that." And Lord Montiverre is like, "No, my friend, it is fine. Do not worry about it. It's like, I'm sure you were in over your head. If you could have been here, you would have." He's like, "Well, So let me tell you what happened, and then we can try and go on from there. So basically, I was studying in my normal spot near the stone fire flats when I was ambushed by a group of gnolls, and I was captured by them. They caught me by surprise. But the ignorant beasts assumed I could not speak or understand them, but I am fluent in Gnoll, so I understood every word that they said. I was brought before a group of gnolls called the Dark Fangs. They're the leaders of the united Gnoll clans here in the Carline Lowlands. You see, the Dark Fangs were a litter of gnolls who rose to prominence in their clans and soon came to lead it. This over here so it looks like I'm looking at the camera. Said they then, through blood and might, united the scattered Gnoll clans of the Carline Lowlands. Though it seems like they are now being fueled by some dark-blighted magic. But anyways, Drokar wished for me to simply be dead. But Nagar refused, claiming that such a prize as myself would be wasteful, so she decided to use me in one of her hunts as her prey. And so when they ordered me away, before I was out of earshot, I heard Degnai, the leader of the Dark Fangs, claim that his research into the Ashue, soul magic, was almost complete. And as for his plans regarding soul magic, I do not know, but I fear what their plans may be. As you know, soul magic is quite dark magic, and I do not know what his plans are, and I feel I need to do some research into soul magic as well as why they may be seeking revenge on Redbrook.
Would you need any help, Garigar?
He's like, you seem capable in the arcane arts, so yes, any help would be greatly appreciated. And Bella speaks up and is like, I can help as well. And then Lord Montiverre is like, this is an interesting turn of events, Garigar. He's like, can you tell me more about these Dark Fangs? I've heard the name, I do not know who they are. And Garigar's like, yes, of course, my lord. Give me 1 second to pull up my notes. He said, like I said, the Dark Fangs were a litter of gnolls here in the Carline Lowlands, and they were able to rise to prominence, eventually taking over their own clan and uniting the rest of the Gnoll clans here. They are led by their leader, Degnai the Bone Lord. He is a powerful necromancer. And through his dark magics, has been able to bend the will of any who oppose him. And I fear what his plans may be. Another one of them is Ragdulu, the Taskmaster. Ragdulu is the driving force behind the forces of the Gnolls. He ensures order is kept and their goals are achieved. He is the second in command of the Dark Fangs. He's like, and then there's Nagar the Skinner, who our friends here were able to take care of for us, but she was a great huntress and was known for hunting down many for her own sport and pleasure. Then there is Agkai the Silent Fang. She's a master of stealth and infiltration. She's wicked and cruel. She can hide in plain sight. And finally there's Drogka the Cruel, a hulking brute, a savage warrior and champion of the Gnoll Horde. He revels in maiming and breaking of bone. He is a wicked and sadistic creature. And these are the Dark Fangs.
When he says that name, Steelscar just has flashbacks to what happened that night.
Okay. Flashbacks of the
ass beating he got.
All right. And then Garigar speaks up and it's like, up to this point I have been following their progress, and from what information I've been able to gather, it's mainly be through their strength, but something has happened recently that has given them some sort of greater power. This sickly, blighted magic that they seem to be infused with. It seems to have given them boldness to carry out this attack on Redbrook. And again, I do not know why they are attacking Redbrook. That is what I hope to solve after we meet here. And so Lord Montiverre speaks up and is like, this seems quite troubling to me. At first I thought we might just be dealing with a random attack. This seems like a coordinated effort by what seems like very powerful enemies. He just kind of thinks for a moment. He's like, oh no, I think we might need to change some of our plans here. I fear things are a bit more serious than we had anticipated. And she's like, of course, my lord. We will do whatever you need. And he looks over at you guys and he's like, is there any other information that you were able to gather from your excursion to the Stonefire Flats?
Not that I know of. I don't think we found anything else, guys. Do you remember finding anything else information wise, other than the fact that we took out Nagar?
Yeah, I can't not recall anything else
Okay.
besides a lot of fighting and a lot of death.
A lot of fighting. Oh my god.
It's like, well,
death.
at least we are one down, 4 to go. Hopefully we can eliminate the remaining Dark Fangs, as they call themselves. He looks over at Garigar and he's like, my friend, please, go rest. Take some time to recover. We can handle things here. And he's like, no, my lord, I need to research immediately. I will be making my way to the library here to begin my research immediately. And he gets up, you see him get up,
let me follow.
take a breath. As you get up, Lord Montiverre looks, he's like, could you please stay here? I wish to speak with you.
Absolutely, sure.
Okay. At this point, Bella kind of gets up and helps Garigar walk in. They make their way upstairs and out of the room. And so Lord Montiverre turns toward you guys. Just takes a deep breath and he's like, I want to thank you for your assistance. You know, you've just so happened to be in the right place at the right time, it seems, and you've ensured that my daughter returned to me safely, as well as Garigar, my wizard and her mentor. So I appreciate your assistance here. As a token of my appreciation, please, the horses that you rode to the Stonefire Flats, you may keep them. They are your own.
Oh,
Take them as a
yeah.
reward for your help here.
Levy thinks to himself, why did I get the sickly one?
We can heal that.
He says, I don't know what your plans are. You've been of great help here. We would greatly appreciate your assistance if you were to stay, but I understand if you don't want to endanger your own lives for our sake. If you do wish to stay, know that you will be fed and you can have shelter here. And if you are willing to provide any assistance in our defense of Redbrook, we would greatly appreciate it. But you look quite tired, so feel free to rest and do whatever you need to do. Just please let me know what your plans are.
Thank you. I don't know if I can speak for everyone, but we're happy to lend a hand in solving the crisis that befalls your people. I would like to at least stay and see if we can see this through to the end, hopefully. Maybe we can all get a good story out of this at the end of this all.
Yeah, I speak up and state that I'm not comfortable leaving without ensuring their continued existence. I can't stand by and allow them to face extinction.
Okay.
I speak up and I'm like, I'd be happy to help. And then I take out the great axe and I hand it back to Casimir, like, but I need a better weapon than this. I don't do good with axes, but if you have anything in the matter of swords, I'd be happy to lend a hand.
He says, of course. And he looks over at Captain Arnold. He's like, Arnold, please ensure our friend here is well equipped and has whatever weapon he needs. And she kind of glances over at you, Steelscar. Kind of gives you a dirty look and looks back to Lord Montiverre and is like, "Of course, my lord." She stands there.
She gives me a dirty look.
Yes. And Lord Montiverre looks at you guys. He's like, "Well, please, you can rest in the rooms that you have if you'd like to wander around. Do whatever you need to do. Usually we have dinner as a family, but based on current circumstances, my son Leon and Natal and my other son Philip and Rodin, I don't see that happening anytime soon. So there will be dinner, food on the table around sunset. Can't promise many people will be there at the same time, but feel free to eat your fill at that time." And he kind of gets up, quickly bows to each you. He's like, "Now, if you excuse me, I have much to attend to." And him and Captain Arnall make their way out of the room.
All right.
Cool. Well, I'm gonna go find Garigar.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with him.
You say anything to the rest of the party, or just leave?
No, I'm just gonna leave without. No, I'm gonna let him know. Guys, I'm gonna go find Garigar and help him out with his research. I feel like whatever he's working on might be the key to figuring this whole thing out.
I don't think the captain liked me, giving me dirty looks. All I
mean,
asked was
maybe they were looking you up. Maybe they thought you were attractive.
And then you spoke.
Then you spoke.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna regret that next time I'm about to die and he doesn't help me.
I'll remember that, Casimir.
Yeah.
There you go.
Steel
this
Scar,
time,
remember
guys,
that.
you guys
I
have
won't.
some time to pursue whatever things that you may want to follow up on, gather supplies, whatever you'd like to do. Stay together, split up. It's up to you guys. Just let me know. So it sounds like Levy wants to make his way up to the library where Garigar and Bella are. What is everyone else wanting to do?
I'm gonna look for the captain because I want my sword
Okay.
or a sword.
Okay.
I'm gonna see what equipment from that massive list I can accumulate.
Okay.
And I'm also adding like enchanted horseshoes to that list of things I'm just keeping an eye out.
Okay. And Elomir, what are you wanting to do?
Gonna find a nice quiet place to rest and read.
Okay. And you are reading your book that you have?
I have a book that is from my mother and the work that she was working on.
Okay. All right. So if everyone's going to split up, we will first go with Steelscar and Casimir. So Casimir, sorry, you said you were wanting to gather some stuff.
Yes, I will grab
Okay.
that list.
Okay. So you kind of ask around to see where you could buy stuff, and the kind of what you get from people is that in the middle of what's going on, it's going to kind of be tough to acquire many of those items that you had. Although regarding like weapons and stuff, your best bet is to go to the armory in the Bailey,
Okay.
which
Does the
is
armory
where
have armor?
weapons and armor.
I head to the armory.
Well, an armory is where they store both weapons.
Yes.
and armor. So,
Yes.
Not the armorer, but the armory.
Yes, the armory.
Yes.
Okay, so then Steelscar, you'll be going to the armory as well, right?
Yes, I'll go. I guess me and Casimir are heading there together.
Okay. All right, so you guys make your way. So at this point, Elomir is just finding a corner, maybe staying in the room since everyone left, reading his book. Levy's going upstairs to the library, and then Steelscar and Casimir are making their way to the armory. Okay, so Steelscar and Casimir, you guys make your way outside. Let me find it. So yeah, you guys make your way outside. You know where the armory is. You've been directed that point that it's over where kind of the guards train and stuff. And you've passed by that. It's in the Bailey. It's kind of off to your side as you've walked in. So you've passed it like a few times at this point. So as you walk outside, the sun's high. It's probably about a little bit afternoon at this point. So you guys ahead, you hear the sounds of shouting, the twang of arrows being released, and the thunk of wooden weapons colliding. As you get closer, you can see a row of hay bales with targets painted on them as a few guards practice their archery. You also see wooden dummies as guards practice their swordplay against them. In the center of the area, you see a ring with a rope and wooden stakes making this ring. Inside, you see two guards currently sparring with their weapons. On the wall of the castle, you see a doorway. And from what you can kind of see in there, it looks like you see some crates and barrels, and looks like there might be one or two people inside that door in that area. What would you like to do?
I will head in.
I specifically look around and keep an eye out for sergeant. For enlisted, not officers.
What was that? Sorry, you cut out for 1 second for me.
I'm looking for upper ranked enlisted, like sergeants, not officers.
Okay. You're looking around. You don't see anyone who seems to be giving out any sort of orders or anything, or like leading any training exercises. It just kind of seems like it's what, people are doing their own thing right now.
Then I'm just going to ask one of the random ones training if they happen to know where I can go to look for equipment upgrades, or just whoever's in charge of the armory.
I guess I'll follow him.
Okay. So yeah, one of them, you grab a guard and he tells you to go speak with the quartermaster Lane, and he's in that doorway that you had seen. He's in the doorway. There's a room there, and they said go to the room. The armory is right there. So you guys gonna make your way over there?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So you guys make your way over there. And as you kind of step inside again, you see lots of crates. You see barrels. You also see some weapons sitting on weapon racks. You see kind of like some barrels of arrows. You see kind of like some javelins and barrels. Additionally, you see like some shields with the Redbrook symbol on it. And you see, kind of as you're walking in, you see a guy kind of walk out. He's carrying a sword with him. And you see ahead of you an older man. He's got black beard and hair. It seems like there's some graying in his beard and his hair. And as you guys enter, he's like, "Good afternoon. How may I help you?"
Good afternoon. We're seeking a variety of goods, weapons, and armor. We're not sure what you have, what you can spare, what we can pay you for, but we'd like to be more well equipped to continue fighting.
Says, "Of course. Well, can't really help you in the way of supplies, but when it comes to weapons and armor, we have plenty of that. What are you looking for? And may I just ask quickly, who are you, and are you here on behalf of somebody?"
My name is Casimir. This is Steelscar. We were in name of village. We helped fight the gnolls in Andul, as well as seeking out. I forgot the wizard's name that we rescued from Stonefire Flats.
We rescued Garigar from Stonefire Flats.
Says, I've heard about you. Andul seemed like a terrible, terrible incident. But it sounds like you were there to help out in a time of need. I appreciate that. Thank you.
I lost my sword there, and I was lent an axe, but my skill set is better utilized if I actually have a long blade at hand.
It says, and what kind of sword specifically are you looking for? A long sword?
Something heavy that hits hard.
So really the hard sword?
I step forward and elaborate, but just explain, describing the sword that he lost. So more of like a great sword or a broadsword, but with the Asian curve.
Okay. So basically you explain to him that, it has some, because your sword it wasn't just a regular sword. It was made in Sun. So it has kind of that influence from that culture there. So he's like, well, I don't have anything of that design, but I have a pretty basic great sword if that's what you're looking for.
Well, I mean, something is always better than nothing. May I see it?
And says, of course. And he you see him kind of walk behind, kind of go through a few like picks up a few swords, kind of like weighs it in his hand, sets it back, and he eventually finds it. Here we go. And he brings it over to you and he hands you a great sword.
Just a regular greatsword, right?
Yes.
I pick it up and feel it. Would you say that the weight of this kind of reminds me of the sword I had?
You can definitely tell that the category of sword that it is of the same category as your sword.
All right.
But it is not your sword.
No, of course, but
Different design. It's not going to impede your ability to fight with it, if that is what you're asking.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Just takes a little getting used to.
All right.
All
right.
And he's like, "Is there anything else that you need?"
I look at Casimir and like, "Oh, do you need anything?"
So I first apologize, and then I pull out one of my pieces of parchment from my pouch and say, "Yes, and sorry in advance, but I have a list of goods I've been looking to stock up on as we run into a variety of scenarios. So I have a basic shopping list, which is basic goods. So these
let me
are fairly
find your list.
Here, I'm
So yeah, again, the only things he's going to have for you are weapons and
okay.
Depending on the type of armor that you're going to want, armor. So I found it.
Okay,
so yeah,
then that'll be the items to try to find for sale.
Okay, so yeah, he's got javelins for you. So he gives you 3 javelins. Steelscar, were you wanting javelins?
Yes.
I'm actually gonna buy 5 javelins if I could.
Same here.
He's like, no need to pay for these. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
You've done us a good service, and you can take these. So both of you'll take 3 javelins.
Okay.
Hands them to you guys. Let's see, anything else in here? Yeah, you're not going to have any magic stuff. It's just a basic armory. So yeah, basically just weapons is all you're going to really find here.
Gotcha.
You imagine you could probably find... and you kind of hand him the list, and he looks over, and he's like, yeah, the only thing I have here is going to... You may have some luck finding holy water at the chapel. Perhaps a healing kit there as well, but the rest of these items are probably you're going to have to find in one of the towns, although right now it may be difficult to find those things with everything going on.
I ask him, you would say my armor looks a little beat up after all the beatings I took these past couple of days?
Yes.
I asked him, do you by any chance have something to replace this current armor that I had? It got pretty messed up, and I want to be at my optimal best if we're gonna go after these gnolls.
Are you asking if he has better armor, or if he can like maybe touch up your armor? Gotcha. So yeah, the armor that you guys are wearing is better than the armor that anyone's here is wearing. So they're not going to have full plate or anything.
And then I ask him, is there anyone here who's good at repairing armor?
He says, "Oh yes, we've got a smithy who might be able to, take some of the dents out of your armor if you need that."
Where can I find him?
You can just leave your armor here, and we'll have it taken care of.
Will do, and I'll start taking off my my splint armor.
Okay.
And I'll just leave it on the counter.
Okay.
Oh no, my armor class is 12.
Oh hey, I outdo you for once.
Yeah.
My turn to protect you.
Hold on.
So as you guys are standing there, you hear a voice from behind you. Familiar voice. They say, so I see that you found your weapon. And you turn around, you see Captain Arnall standing in the doorway.
I sure did. It feels a lot better than holding an axe, I'll tell you that.
She kind of approaches.
Is she giving me a dirty look?
She approaches. She kind of got her arms folded. She approaches. She's like, "May I see it?"
Sure. I hand her the blade.
Okay. She kind of holds it, looks it over, and she says, "Well, I'm glad you found what you were looking for. But tell me, I understand my lord has commanded me to help you, outfit you in whatever you need. And I know you said that you would stay here and help us, but how do I know that you will actually stay here and help us? It's easy to be a hero, like you were in Andul, but you have an honor to stay here and help."
Look, Captain, if I'm staying here to help, it's because it's the right thing to do. I've served with the military prior, and one thing I can tell you is that for folks in the military, our word holds value, especially if we commit to something. We could have easily never have decided to go out and rescue Garigar or anyone else for that matter. We could have easily just fled the town when it was being attacked. But you know what? We decided to stay. When we know the name Prokar, right?
Drokar?
Drokar, yeah. When Drokar issued the challenge, I saw nobody else stepping up to take it, especially with hostages being held. I could have declined. I could have never said anything. But you know what? I took the offer because people's lives were at stake. And if you can relate to any of that, especially you being the captain, I'm pretty sure you would have done the exact same things I've done if you were in my position. If you as the captain truly care about the people around here.
And she looks at you and says, "Of course, I would die for these people. That is my job, and that is who I am."
And as soon as she's done with that, I'm like, "See, you have a commitment to them. I don't. But I decided to stay, and I decided to defend them. So you tell me this, why are you trying to pass judgment on me with all these questions when I'm here defending people that realistically I should not care about, yet I'm doing it for them?"
She said, "Like I said, it's easy to play the hero. But here you are. The heroics are done. And my question to you is, are you going to stay? Do you know who fought with honor? The guards who died in Andul. Their bodies lie rotting in the sun, their flesh consumed by those infernal creatures. And so my question to you is, will you honor their sacrifice? I understand you fought Drokar, and that should not be minimized, but my men died defending those people in Andul. They died fighting next to you. And I ask you now, are you going to honor their sacrifice? Some of them had children, families. Who will defend them? Will you stay and honor their sacrifice?"
Steelscar takes a moment, thinks about it, and he's like, You can count on my help if that's what you're asking. I know, and I saw the ones who died. I was there at the battlefield with them. So I know how hard it is to watch people die. So yes, to answer your question simply, yes, I will be staying for the remainder of this endeavor that involves the Dark Flames in order to bring justice to your fallen soldiers.
She looks you over, says, "Fine, prove it to me. Meet me in the ring."
Oh shit! All right.
I find the best way to find if somebody is actually telling the truth is through combat. Is the best way to learn about your enemy or ally. So, let's go and meet in the ring.
Lead the way.
All right. So you guys head to the ring, and you are not wearing your armor. So your armor class
my armor class is 12, and then I'm also not at full health.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how low Never mind. I'm gonna. Just
You're not there because you're talking to the guard, to the shop.
Oh, I'm sure he heard the
Yeah, well,
conversation.
I was done getting the javelins. There's not like I.
Yeah, I'm sure he heard the
going on.
conversation.
I look at Casimir like,
What, 42?
Casimir, just watch.
All right.
Just stay
Yeah, I
and watch.
quickly cast Cure Wounds on you, so I'm gonna give you 2 plus 4.
How much?
2d8 plus 4. So 1 sec. So 14. So there's 14 for you.
Nice.
Hey, I'm a lot better.
He's
hit
got
now.
spells. And, yeah, thank you, Levy. Oh my gosh, I'm an idiot.
Yeah, what did we figure out? You thought you only had the spells that were
When
part
we
of your
first- when you
subclass?
first added me to the game and I first made my character sheet, it hadn't because you imported it, so initially it wasn't linked and didn't have access to the proper spell list. So I had just the very base list. So I had like 6 spells total that were just always prepared. I didn't know I was supposed to have so many more. So Levy helped me fix that last week, and I realized that I had
Nice.
a glorious list of magic available.
Yeah, especially if you got a high
0
charisma.
spells prepared.
Yeah, if you got a lot of high charisma, which you do, you should have quite a decent amount of spells available.
Yeah, right before the fight, I'd like to cast Shield of Faith on him.
Just
Actually, no. I am going to cast both
Do I
Shield of
see-
Faith and Protection from
Do I see
Good.
this on him? Do I see him doing this?
yes, he's walking over and touching you.
Well,
As soon as he
It's an
walks
unfair
over,
fight otherwise.
no, as soon as he starts doing that, I'm like, Casimir, please don't. This is a challenge, a duel between 2 people, and you doing this is only interfering in what we would consider an honorable battle.
Buff her too. Better get Oxygen.
Sure, I can buff her
Equal
too.
ground. All right, so you see
I
her.
doubt she would have objected to me buffing you before fighting the bridge.
No, but I would object to it.
You see her over there. So she is carrying wooden weapons, steel scars. So she has set her actual weapons down. Obviously, this isn't going to be a violent, bloody fight, but
Of course.
so you see her. She's carrying two. She has 2 like these wooden swords in her hand, and she's kind of like stretching and practicing and preparing herself, waiting for you to enter the ring. And so you see a best you can find from wooden sword standpoint is a long sword.
I will grab it.
Okay,
Long sword. I need to look that up then.
it's a 1d10 if you're using 2
Okay.
hands.
Okay, 1d10. Perfect.
Okay, all right. Well then, if you're ready, let's roll initiative.
Shit. Okay.
I'll get the music going.
Is it like the new Doom Eternal music?
I do not know what that music is.
Yeah. Just heavy metal. Lots of heavy metal.
I rolled an 11 total.
Okay. Whoa, that's weird. The mouse just pulled Chrome over. Let me see. I need to look at her stats real quick. Yeah, she didn't roll that great. Okay, you're first.
Awesome. I'm gonna start off hard. As a bonus action, I will use my fighting spirit.
All right,
Oh.
go for it. So you get the ring. By the way, the ring's probably about, I don't know. It's not that large, like maybe 15 by 15 or something. It's a circle.
All right.
So not square, but there's a decent amount of room, but not a ton.
I will
you
get up in
go
her
out.
face, and I'm gonna.
Okay.
I'm gonna swing twice.
Okay.
Great weapon master on both attacks. So that's 1 and that's 2. So I rolled total 19 and 18.
Both are hits.
Awesome. And both are. Oh shit! How do I do great weapon? Oh, plus 10. I haven't done that in a while.
By the way, the way we're gonna do this, just reduce your act as if you're taking the damage. Obviously, you're not gonna like pass out when you get to 0.
yeah.
If you get 0, but that's
I'm gonna
how we're
keep
gonna
it
do this.
manually. I'm gonna do it
Yeah.
by paper then.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
So 1d. So. Okay, 1d10 plus 4. So 10, 20 damage on the first hit.
Okay.
And on the second one, 20 damage on the second one as well. I rolled 2
Ooh,
sixes.
man. Okay.
And that is going to be it for my turn.
Okay. You run up your sword, you just bring it down. She tries to block it, and you get through her guard. You just go, and you hear like the wind get knocked out of her, and you bring it around and hit her again. 2 big hits. And so now it's her turn. And she is going to attack. She is going to use her fighting spirit. And
Oh,
she's going to attack
shit.
you
Okay.
with her swords. She gets 4 attacks, all with advantage. So let's see.
If you do Pro plus 12 or over, you hit me.
Okay, so hit.
That's fine.
First attack. It's gonna be hit with the second attack. It's gonna be a 12 because it beats it. It hung on that 20. Rolled away though. Third attack's gonna miss.
What?
Fourth attack is going to hit. All right, so let's do damage. So 3 of them hit. So you're
That's
gonna take 3. So you're gonna take 7. Whoop. Sorry, hold on. I just dropped my D4.
First, he makes me lose my sword. Now he's gonna make me lose my dignity.
You never had that to begin with, please.
She's the captain of the guard.
That's true. I did not. Steelscar doesn't care about dignity.
You're the one choosing all these fights, buddy.
I did not choose this fight. I was basically.
He didn't choose this fight. I will say.
This fight chose him.
Yeah, this fight chose him. All right. Then you're gonna take 6 damage, and then 5 damage, and then she's gonna use her action surge.
Oh god.
Man, she just really hates this guy.
So it's gonna be a hit on the first attack. Oh wait, no, this. Okay, hit. Hit. Get to roll so much, so great. Hit.
Yeah, Casimir goes to the latrine while he gets wailed on.
Hit. So it's gonna be 4 hits. So here we go. It's gonna be 8 points of slashing or damage. It doesn't matter what type it is. It's a sword, wooden sword. 6, and then 6 and 6.
All right.
So now it's your turn.
I will retaliate back. I'm gonna use as a bonus action. I will use Fighting Spirit.
She also got 5 temp hit points.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I did too. So actually, I should give myself 20s.
Yeah, so
Change
you took
that.
5 less damage.
Yeah, and again, I'm gonna get another 5 temp hit.
See, you
points.
watch as she just like goes into a blade fury. Just you're trying to block. You get one, like of the 8 attacks that come in, you take all of them.
Yeah, so I did use a second Fighting Spirit for this turn,
Okay.
and so first attack with Great Weapon Master, so 19.
It's a hit.
Oh, that one just rolled off the tail. Let me get another one.
Yep.
It's cocked.
No, it rolled out in 18.
Okay, both are hits.
All right. 5, 9, 19 damage on the first hit,
Okay.
and I rolled another 6, 20 damage on the second hit.
My God, dude. Okay, that was over much quicker than I expected. So
Oh shit!
you just continue wailing on her until you eventually just like bring your sword around and just like smack her, like just get her right across the body, and she falls down to the ground. The sword to kind of fall out of her hand.
As soon as she falls down, I'll reach down and offer my hand to pick her up.
Okay. She takes your hand. Do you pull her up?
I do pull her up.
All right. She says, kind of like is holding her, shoulder where you brought your sword down the final blow, and is like, well, you seem that you know what you're doing when it comes to a fight.
When would I have noticed like her fighting spirit style? Because I was specifically trained in that kind of style.
Do me a favor, roll a history check.
History check. What am I? Ooh, 18 minus 1, 17.
17. Okay. So Captain Arnold has very dark skin. She is a Haram. What you know about Haram is they are from the Dune Sea, mainly there's a big city there called Haramdrim. What you know about them, you've been in the military, you practice the way of the blade. It's your understanding is that Soon, which is where you did a lot of your training,
Yes.
and Haramdrim, both there's almost like a spiritual aspect when it comes to fighting with a blade. It's not the same type of training and fighting and kind of not beliefs, but you know what I mean, kind of teachings. But it's similar in that it's kind of this teaching, like this way of the blade, kind of like living and dying by the blade kind of thing. So you definitely notice that the way that she fought seemed to be kind of similar, or at least what you've heard about.
And so when I'll ask, and I'm gonna ask her. You know, the way you showed your blade skills really remind me of my own. I practically have the same fighting style that you were showing me just now.
She's like, yes, I noticed that as well. Perhaps we can spar in the future, and I may get the upper hand against you.
I hold my sides. I'm like, well, I mean, that's the second beating I've taken today. So
she extends her hand to shake yours.
I shake her. I extend mine and shake.
And she's like, Steelscar, thank you for your honor, and I hope to see you on the battlefield.
And I'm like, and I look back, and I'm like, and you know, thank you for believing in me and my sword, believing in me and the skill that I'll be able to provide to you, for you, and for the people here. I shall also see you at the battlefield.
Says, I look forward to it. And she gathers a sword, kind of dusts herself off, and makes her way out of the ring.
I head back to Casimir.
Okay.
Making friends everywhere you go, I see.
What better way to make friends than to spar with them? Wouldn't you agree?
I don't know. I've always been a fan of food and a drink, but call me weird.
Yeah, I love food, drinking. Well, tried it once, nearly killed me, so not for me.
All right. What would you guys like to do now?
I still have shopping to attempt to do. I think you look like you're still standing fine, so I don't need to do you anymore.
Real quick though,
Yes.
It's been an hour, so we probably have winners.
We do have winners.
Oh, yes. Nice. You want to do that?
Yep,
APOC?
I'll look that up right now.
All right.
Take
Take a quick break then. While we do this.
So let's
I was like, no, Levy can wait.
No, I'm not asking to butt
we got
in.
people from countries all over the world. Oh my goodness, so cool. Okay, so winner number 1. So you're getting your first pick of the dice and 2 games from the game list that we have donated. So 2 from the tier 4 or below. Lucas Kwasniak. Wow, I'm sorry, I'm terrible at pronouncing things. So Lucas Kwasniak will be contacting you. So that Luke guy. Thank you for visiting us on YouTube.
Thank you.
Next winner, so I'll have to confirm that they are in the Discord when I email them. But it's Rachel will be contacting you. So congratulations for second pick. You'll get second dice pick. So if it conflicts with win number 1, we'll see what else we have on the list that you want. And you're going to get 2 games from our tier 3 or below list. Winner 3 is Raiden Lamb. So you're going to get third pick of dice and 2 games from the tier 2 list.
Awesome.
Let me double check what dice it is and see if I can cover a fourth winner.
Do I win?
No, I don't see you on the
He skipped
list
you.
of winners.
I don't think
buddy.
so.
Oh, crap.
None of us popped up as winners, which is probably for the best.
Are you sure? Or did you just skip me?
No, these are the first 4 winners I rolled. I'm just making sure. So actually, yeah. Yep, I think we might actually stop at 3. If we do pick some more, I'll just contact them directly and we'll announce it on our social media. So congrats to Luke, Rachel, and Raiden. We'll be reaching out to you.
Cool.
And yeah, thank you all for participating. It was great having everyone along, and we'll be running more giveaways in the future.
Yep. Awesome.
Yes.
Thanks, guys. All right. Well, we can get back to the game.
I I will stay at
Casimir.
the training grounds and just
You gonna stay there?
just practicing.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going shopping. That basic list.
Where do you
is,
want to go? Did you want to go to the? He had said that there was some. You could probably get some stuff at the chapel if you wanted to.
I'd probably stop at the chapel, see if I could get a healer's kit and some holy water. I doubt they'd have anything else. They might have Willow-Shade oil, but everything else. Oh, they might have a bell. Everything else is just general goods from like a standard market. Or
Okay, so Steelscar,
soccer.
you're staying at the training grounds.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay just they got like practice dummies and like people
Yeah.
sparring each other, right?
Yeah, you can practice and do whatever
Yeah,
you need to do.
I'll stay with some of the guards, just spar with some of them, practice on the dummies, etc.
Okay, cool. All right, so Casimir, you make your way over to the chapel. So as you approach the chapel, it's decent size. It's not the biggest chapel you've ever seen. It is within the Bailey, so it has to be contained inside the walls. But it is one of the larger buildings here, aside from the keep in the Grand Hall. So as you approach, it looks as it's made of the same stonework as the castle walls, and you expect it's been here about just as long. And as you approach, you see a large set of doors. And on the archway above the doors, you see something inscribed in a language that you do not know, but looks familiar to you. You do recognize it as Celestial, though you cannot speak Celestial, correct?
I don't think I have that yet. No, I do not speak
Okay.
Celestial.
But yeah, in the archway, you see kind of small figures cut into the stonework, 12 figures. And you know these represent the 12 gods of Athene, a few whom you are quite familiar with. So as you enter the chapel, it's a very similar layout to a lot of chapels that you've seen. You enter the wooden doors into a foyer. You see on the ceiling of the foyer, you see very delicate artwork of the gods of Athene. You see burning, you see them like burning bright, like beacons illuminating the land. And as you enter kind of the sanctuary area of the chapel, you see beautiful stained glass windows around the sides, and up at the front, you see kind of a circular area. That's, where who's ever giving the message or whatever for that day, or that's where they typically stand. And you kind of see kind of rows of benches. But what kind of catches you off guard, and you remember, as you're entering, you see a lot of people moving about, people laying on the ground. You hear some people letting out moans, this is where all the injured from the attack on Andul have been brought. And you see people kind of moving about, helping them. And it looks like a lot of the benches have kind of been moved to the side to make more room for the injured, so they can rest and heal up and stuff like that. And as you enter, you see a woman approach you. Let me see if I can find it. So she's kind of an elderly woman. She's got kind of grayish black hair. She's wearing kind of greenish gold robes, and she kind of carries a tome. There's a tome kind of at her side. And as she approaches you, she's like, "Hello, my child. Are you in need of healing or assistance today?"
I actually initially came here to see if I could purchase a healer's kit and some holy water, but I feel I should first try and assist some with the healing before asking about that.
She's like, "Yes, we have many injured here. Are you, do you have training in the medicines or some other way to help these people?"
I was a medic in the service, so I do have some minor skill in healing, so I would be happy to provide what magic I have remaining for the day to assist.
Oh, it would be greatly appreciated. Please follow me. And so as you're walking, she's like, "So you say you have some magic to be able to help people?"
Indeed. I have a remaining prayer of healing I can cast and help a handful of people, as well as a few minor healing spells left.
Okay. So good.
So I have a prayer of healing, 2 cure wounds, and then 5 lay on hands. I'm happy to expend it all here.
Okay. So yes, you she takes you to a woman who's laying on the ground. You see some people there trying to help her. And by the way, the woman introduced herself as Sister Luthel. And so she takes you to this woman, and she says, this poor woman here seems to be suffering from some sort of fever. She has chills. She seems just be shaking and sweating profusely. We've done our best to help her, but you can perhaps see if you'd be able to help her.
So fever, so likely infection, so classify as disease. So I expend 5 lay on hands points to cure disease, to cure her of infection.
Okay. So you walk up, and as she sees you, she kind of like looks up at you, and she's kind of like just sweating, and you can see like she's like barely has her eyes open, and you kind of grab her by the hand, and hold her hand, and it's just kind of just like limp in your hand, your gauntleted hand, and your hands just begin to glow with kind of a dull light as you can see it kind of travel up her body. And she kind of just takes a deep breath for a moment and kind of opens her eyes a little wider. And she's like, what did you do to me? I feel better.
I delayed your meeting with Halas, at least for now. You'll meet them eventually, so no reason for it to be today.
And she says, thank you so much. So I'm not sure how much longer it could have lasted.
Rest up, get well, and try and help others.
Says, of course. And so, as you heal her, you turn around and you see Sister Lethel standing there, and she says, you have a gift, my child.
Wish I had more of it to share.
And she says, sometimes the smallest things can make the largest differences in this world. Don't be afraid to share your gifts and your knowledge with people. She says, go ahead.
Oh, then I just tell her, well, I have more magic left. Let's get to it.
Okay. So you spend the next, you wanted to expend everything you've got?
I have prayer of healing and
Okay.
2 cure wounds. So
Okay.
I can expend it all in about a half hour quite quickly.
So you guys, so
Anything
you
that can
just,
help.
you and her just begin to make your way around the chapel as you're healing people, and as you're healing them, people are just like thanking you, and I mean, you are quite literally saving people's lives, people who might not have been able to make it, and you're giving these people hope in what seems like quite a dark time. And you know, they're, as you're healing them, they're just like, oh, thank you, thank the 12. I wasn't sure what would happen. And so you about half hour you do going around, you heal, I mean, quite a few people. I would say a decent amount of people in this chapel are now healed, and you've taken care of most of the injured. There's still a few left, but they seem like they could probably heal up on their own at this point.
Yeah, I definitely focus on those with the
who are
worst
most hurt,
that I
yeah.
can curb it.
Okay. So at that point, and you know, you tell Sister Lethel that you're basically out. You're tapped at this point.
I take off my mask for just a moment to wipe my face down. Yeah, I'm out of mojo.
All right. So she is like, you have saved a great many lives today.
I tell her, well, of course. So I try and avoid the compliments and get back to just why I was there in the first place. Just try and like take her compliment and like segue off and go, well, now that I can no longer help with that, do you happen to have a healer's kit and some holy water I could purchase? I'd like to stock up before we head out to deal with more gnolls.
She says, well, the healer's kits here are, as you can imagine, used up or spoken for. But holy water, that is very easy to procure. You can find it in the back of the chapel here on the dais. But before you go, I wish you to have something. And she hands you the book that she had at her side. As she hands it to you, she says, you will need this on your journey if you are to be successful, my child. Do not let your quest for vengeance blind you to the pain around you. Knowledge such as yours is a gift to be shared. Now, if you do not mind, I have things to tend to.
I purse my lips behind the mask before thanking her for the book and wish her a good day.
Okay.
And then I'd like to just briefly examine the book before I head off to continue looking for supplies or just help out with things.
Okay. So you kind of turn around as you're walking out, look over the book. It has like the picture of kind of a heart on the front of it, and like kind of like an arm, kind of like, with muscles and stuff. And as you read it, read that it is called the Manual of Bodily Health.
Thank you. The book was like green, you said?
Yeah. Similar to the clothing that she was wearing.
Gotcha. Manual of Bodily Health from Lethane.
Lethel.
Lethel. Wow. Cool. Thank you.
Yep. So if you look up what that does for you, I don't know if you're able to look that up.
I will take a peek. Boop.
Basically, you can spend 48 hours over the period of 6 days reading it, practicing its instructions, and you get a +2 to your Constitution.
Oh, sweet. Thank you. Okay, I'll add that.
Don't get it yet. You got to read.
Oh, well, no, I'll add it to inventory.
Gotcha. Okay.
It is not marked active at the moment.
Okay. And you make your way out of the chapel?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Man, +2 con? He needs
Oh,
that.
and yes, I do want to, grab 2 flasks of holy water.
Okay. So you grab 2 flasks of holy water and make your way out of the chapel.
Cool.
Nice.
Okay. So at this point, you probably want to head back and read your book, I'm assuming? Or you want to do more shopping?
Actually, I want to continue
Okay.
to look at those just basic shopping items like rope, hammers, pittons, that sort of thing. Just basic adventuring gear.
Gotcha. Okay. So you can do that. And you and I will follow up on what you're able to find. So now we will go to Levy.
Oh boy.
All right. So Levy, you... Sorry, hold on one second.
I'm gonna sit up for this one.
You sit up.
Yeah. Ready to roll some dice.
There you go. All right. So after you guys were in that room talking, you leave the room. You make your way up the steps. You ask a servant where the library is, and they basically tell you it's just down the hall, opposite the hall of your room. So when you go up the steps to get to your room, you went right. The library is down to the left. So you make your way down the library. As you enter in, you're surprised by the sheer number of books here. The walls are just covered with shelves full of books. Additionally, there are large wooden bookshelves that kind of create these aisles in there as well. In the center, you see a room with kind of a rug made of a deep red fabric stretched across the stone floor. And on the carpet, you see multiple chairs and desks, some of which would already have like books piled up on it. You can see Garigar and is just kind of grabbing books from the shelves and setting them on these tables. Scattered about this room, you see like some small like table display cases or something like that. And on the ceiling, you see a large chandelier, kind of with these candles, but the candles seem to be lit, but it doesn't, kind of as you look at them, it doesn't seem like they have melted at all to any capacity. And so
Would
as
I know that would be like magical candles or something like that? I would
you
imagine.
you could imagine that there's some sort of magic there that could be causing it.
I'm gonna think it's magic without having to do a check. I'm just like, probably with magic.
Huh, magic. Okay. And so as you enter in, you see them grabbing some books, and Bella notices you. She's like, Levy, good, you're here. Garigar and I are just collecting some books that we think may be of help. We're looking for 2 things mainly. Any information on soul magic and just the history of Redbrook to see if there's anything related to gnolls or potentially why these Dark Fangs may be wanting to attack us. We're not sure exactly why, but that's what we want to figure out.
Would I have any prior knowledge of this soul magic?
Go ahead and roll an Arcana check.
21.
21. Okay. So your understanding of soul magic is that if necromancy was a subcategory of magic. Soul magic is a subcategory of necromancy. So necromancy typically deals with, right, the reanimating of bodies or bones, as well as like damaging spells that like curse people or something like that, or deal some sort of necrotic damage. Soul magic is more related to souls, particularly the controlling, the containing, and in some cases the consuming of souls. And so it's quite illegal, and is one of the darker forms of magic.
So, I guess I would like to share kind of like what you like said to them, but in a way that doesn't make me sound super like, hey, I know all about this.
So kind of like in a questioning way, like, so
Yeah.
I've kind of heard that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So as you say those things, Garigar's like, yes, I see that you have some knowledge of soul magic. Yes. Yes, those are the basic tenets and kind of principles of soul magic. But like I said, I overheard Dagnai saying that he had almost finished his research or something like that, and I'm really not sure what you could be attempting to do. I don't know anything about souls. I don't know if he's intending to raise the souls of the people who have died here in Redbrook. I'm not really sure exactly what his plans are. So,
well, where are we at with the books that we've been looking for? Have you found everything that you could think of, or do you need some help finding some other books?
it's like, well, I think we've got a decent amount of books to go through right now. We can start making our way and see what we can find.
Okay, I'm happy to help.
Okay. Excuse me. So for the next few hours, you guys just are reading through book after book. Some
Wait
of
a
them,
second.
yeah.
Me, Elomir, and Casimir, all reading books.
Are they up there as well? Right now, it's just
Well,
you.
no. I mean, because Casimir got a book. Elomir was reading a book on his own, and I'm reading books in the library. Steelscar, man, you gotta get on the
Brought
books.
to you by the letter B.
I don't know. I want to tell my
Book.
girlfriend about this manual of bodily health so she can laugh.
If you haven't noticed, Steelscar doesn't really read. He just uses his sword.
Steelscar has picture books.
Yeah. No, I mean, Steelscar can read, though. I've read the reports.
Yeah,
Gosh.
they were amazing.
So yes, everyone's reading. You don't know that everyone.
I don't know this, but I'm just aside. That's kind of fun.
Yes. So you spend the next few hours just pouring through the books that you guys find. You're finding a lot of information about Redbrook, about why it has its name. Has to do with a flower that grows there, which you've noticed. It's kind of off to the side of the castle. It's a red flower that grows on the brook, but it's quite prominent and kind of travels up the side of the cliff that the castle's on. The flower is called
Does
the
it have
blood.
any magical properties?
It doesn't have any magical properties that you know about, but it is kind of the symbol of Redbrook and Bloodthorn. It's called the Bloodthorn, and so that's where the Bloodthorn Castle name came from. Because basically the castle, there's like a river, right, that goes right behind the castle, and there's kind of a cliff right there, and the castle's kind of at the edge of the cliff, and the flowers kind of travel up the cliff, kind of onto the castle there. So the whole side of the castle there is kind of red from the flowers. You find out that the town's been in the Montiverre family for many, many years. In fact, it's been in the Montiverre family since its inception. Let's see what else. The castle was built not at the beginning of Redbrook, but a few hundred years ago. But you're not finding anything particular that stands out to you. And then regarding soul magic, not a whole lot of information since it's such a specific type of magic, particularly forbidden, illegal magic to do. You guys are kind of having trouble finding that information. But after a few hours of reading, Garigar is like passed out on one of the chairs that he's in. Old man, he's tired.
How old does he look?
He's pretty old. He's got a big gray beard, white beard, wears like kind of like these glasses. Basically your stereotypical wizard guy going on. But he's pretty old from what you can tell. You're surprised he was able to kind of manage through the ordeal that he went through.
Bella's still kicking?
Bella's still over there reading. And at one point she kind of like closes her book, just kind of like looks around. And is like, sorry. She's like, I've spent so much of my life here in this library. It's always funny. I find myself coming back here.
Getting yourself lost in a good book?
She's like, yes. As a child, I spent so much of my time reading through all the books here. Obviously not some of the more difficult ones, as I was only a child, but anything that had to do with magic, I would just eat it up. Trying to find anything that would bring me some sort of comfort or knowledge about my gift that was such a mystery to me.
So you've read so many of these. Have you seen any mention of the soul magic before?
And she's like, I've not seen anything in these books regarding soul magic. No, I've not made my way through all these books. And, unfortunately, it isn't not a widely practiced form of magic due to its being illegal. And, controlling people's souls is not a good thing to do.
I agree completely. Definitely not one thing that anyone should be handling.
She's like, when I was young and I was found to be gifted in the arcane, my parents didn't know what to do with me. No one had ever been born in my family that could wield the arcane arts. And I had no one to train me, so I would spend much of my time here reading and going through these books. Anything with magic, even if it was a story about some person long ago, would bring me comfort.
Was Garigar not around?
He's like, Garigar came around later. 1 second. He's like, no, actually, when I was growing up, I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have anyone to teach me about the arcane arts. My parents did their best to find people, but it was very difficult to get a wizard or anybody who knew what they were doing to stay in a tower and teach someone like me. So like I said, I spent much of my time reading through these books, trying to find something. It was quite lonely as a child.
I can relate. I also had a relatively lonely childhood. I won't go too much into it, but I can understand where you're coming from.
That's as I see.
I put down my books. I didn't find anything in these.
And she says, she kind of like eyes you for a second. And kind of like leans forward. Kind of closes her book. And she's like, Levy, what are you looking for?
Obviously, the answer to this problem.
What problem are you talking about?
Well, we have to figure out what's his name? Oh my god. Degnai's what he's trying to do. We need to stop the attack of the Dark Fang.
And she kind of just like eyes you, and she's like leans back and is like, I don't believe you. She says, I don't believe you because
I rolled a 21 for deception if you want that.
That's fine. She says, I think you're very good at hiding your emotions and your feelings. But I feel I was like you once. I was searching for something, and I know the look of somebody who is searching for something. The look of someone who desperately wants an answer. I don't know what you're searching for, but I feel you're hoping to find it here in one of these books, or perhaps me or Garigar can help you with that. I don't know. I don't know what it is you're looking for, but I'm glad you're here to help us, and I hope you find what it is that you are looking for.
I take a second. Think. Thank you. I hope as well.
This is good. Well, I guess I'll go see if I can find a few more books about anything that could help.
Is there anything that was like forbidden when you were a child that you were told never to read? Maybe it's in there.
She thinks for a moment, is like, nothing stands out. There were a few things I was told not to touch.
Well, let's touch them.
So
Famous
she's
last
like, yeah. So she gets up and walks over to one of the display cases. Now she's kind of looking over. She's like, and she kind of like motions for you to come over. And as you approach the display case, you can see like what looks like some broken piece of wood. And she says, I was always told not to touch this, never open this. I finally asked Garigar what it was about, or what it was, and all he had told me was that it once belonged to was part of a staff of some battle long ago here in Redbrook. I'm not sure exactly what it is, though. Perhaps Garigar would know. I don't know. We could go ask him.
Does he get angry when we wake him?
I says, well, I think he's had a good rest, and I think he'd like to be part of whatever research we are doing here.
Very well. I shall wake him.
All right.
So I'm
So you make
gonna.
your way over?
Yeah, I'm gonna make my way over, but I'm gonna use Mage Hand to grab like 5 pounds worth of books and then just drop them behind him.
Okay. Your hand goes out, picks up the books, drops, and you kind of.
I'm gonna be standing in front of him though when I do.
Okay, gotcha. So he kind of wakes up with a, oh gosh, what was that? What was that?
Oh, I have no idea. Are you? Oh, how are you doing, Garigar?
He's like, doing good. Did we find anything?
Just wanted to ask you a few questions if you had some time. I was wondering if you could tell me about that piece of wood over there.
Of course. Yes. And he kind of stands up, walks over to this case, and he's like, kind of looking over. He's like, my understanding is this once belonged to a staff. And his eyes kind of like widen for a second, and he's like, "Oh, give me 1 second." And he kind of makes his way away into down the hall, disappears for a second, and then comes back. And he has a book with him. He's like, I forgot about this book. It was in my room. I was actually doing some research on it before I left to go to the Stonefire Flats. And he kind of like has it open in your spot. And he's like, it talks about a battle that took place here many, many years ago. In fact, before the castle was here. It was between, I can't believe this slipped my mind. It was between Knowles and the people who lived here in Redbrook. It was a great battle. It's actually where the Montiverre family became the lords over this whole area. But basically, there was a group of Knolls led by a Knoll named Logoltha. And he led an attack on Redbrook. At the time, it was just a bunch of villages. And the villagers were having trouble fighting back. And this nobleman who was in the area, named Edwin Montiverre, helped the villagers rally against the Knolls. And they fought against them and were able to defeat them. Actually, right here where this castle is built, there was a great battle. So I wonder if this is anything related to why the Dark Fangs are here. Perhaps they're seeking revenge for a battle that took place hundreds of years ago. I don't know.
Well, I mean, if Redbrook has fought with these gnolls before, it would stand to make sense that they would be out for revenge.
It would, and that actually makes perfect sense. I'm sorry, I'm a bit out of sorts right now, as you can imagine. Yes, I think this could very well be some of the information that we're looking for. I will see if I can find any more information about this battle. It was many years ago. I've not been able to find much about it other than this book. But this may be a good start.
Bella, this was a great point of interest for this investigation. Is there anything else that we aren't supposed to touch?
She's like, well, that's all I think that relates to this.
Well, very well. Unfortunately, we might not be able to figure out what they're trying to do, but maybe we can pursue this and figure out the reason why.
Yes, I think this is a good start. We can see where it leads.
I will continue looking then with them.
All right. So you're going to stay up there? All right.
Mhm.
Now we're going to go over to Elomir, who's been waiting so patiently for his turn.
I'm here.
All right, Elomir. So everyone left the room. They all walked out. You stayed in the room. And so you started reading through your book. What is it called again? I forgot to write it down.
The book is Zintha's Otherworldly Compendium.
Okay. All right, so you start making your way through the book. And this is your mother's book, and you kind of take a moment before you open it, to kind of take a deep breath, and begin thumbing your way through the pages. Your mother was quite adept at planar magic, as well as being familiar with the different planes of existence. Your knowledge of that is quite limited because you didn't get to complete your training with the Astral Order. But the information that you're able to find in this book, I guess in my throat, hold on. Sorry. What you're able to find in the book as you're going through is you find that there's the prime material plane. That is the plane that you exist on. It's where you are. It's where everything exists. And just reading through your mother's book, she kind of lays out some of the other planes that there are that exist, including the celestial realm or the celestial plane, the Everdark, the far realm, plane of water, air, fire, earth, Feywild, the ethereal plane, and the astral plane. And going through it, it just talks about how the only way to kind of travel between these places is through portals or some sort of teleportation magic that's allowing you to travel between planes. And basically, you know that the Astral Order's job was to basically ensure that there was never extraplanar threats that could be coming. Basically, around Athane, there are just spots where it seems like the planes may overlap or come closer or something like that. And you know that the Astral Order typically set up fortresses or something in these spots to kind of protect against any extraplanar danger that could be coming. So you spend some time reading through it, and it just talks about each of the different planes. Is there any plane that you're particularly interested in?
Really what I'm trying to figure out is in this plane, the prime material plane, where I could find more soldiers.
Members of the
More
Astral Order?
Members of the Order, yes.
Okay. So as you're going through, it looks like your mom's work was mainly wasn't a catalog of the Astral Order's activities. It was more just understanding. It was kind of a learner's guide to the planes and all that stuff. A few places that are mentioned between that have kind of that close overlap that that they had some places set up was the Frigid Waste, which is where your parents were stationed. And then a few other locations in the Dune Sea. Sorry, as well as in the Greenwood, are the only spots mentioned here in the books or your book. You feel that you're probably, if you want to know any more, you're going to have to find someone who may be able to help you, or find some information somewhere else.
Okay. As I kind of stand up and stretch and realize I've been reading for far too long, I just kind of try to find any member from the Montiverre family that might be around the keep, as I've just been kind of sitting in the corner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're having trouble finding anyone from the Montiverre family. As far as you know, both the sons were sent to some of the towns. Bella's in the library. Lord Montiverre, you don't know where he is. You don't know where Lady Montiverre is. But you can find like a servant walking around or something like that if you have a question.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try to find a servant.
Okay. You find a halfling servant walking about. What is your question?
Hello.
Like, hello.
I'm one of the adventurers here, helping out with the recent conflicts. Do you have any master rangers within the castles that I might speak to?
Well, we don't have any rangers per se. What are you looking for? Like, why are you looking for someone like that?
Somewhat of a sensitive topic, but
we don't need to go into details, but the more I know, the more.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find somebody who might be able to help me connect with people from my home in the Greenwood.
It's like, It's like, nobody I know really from the Greenwood. Any elves? Unfortunately, I don't know of anyone who could help you with that.
Okay, I'm going to go out on a limb here. Anybody who seems a little bit crazy talking about portals?
Well, if you're looking for magic, you'll probably want to talk to Garigar.
Okay, fair point. Okay. And I think he went off to the library. I'm just kind of talking out loud at this point.
Yes, he went up the library. Just go up the steps and then make a left, and it's the end of the hall.
All right, I'll just keep talking to myself and wander off without saying goodbye to him.
Okay. All right, where are you going? Are you going up the library or not?
Sure.
Okay. All right, so you make your way in the library. Make your way in again. You see what Levy saw, all the books. You see the bookshelves, the tables. You see Levy, Bella, and Garigar. Levy and Bella are kind of sitting in the middle, reading through some books. You see Garigar kind of standing up, going through some of the books on a shelf.
I would like to clarify how I'm reading my book. I'm having my mage hand actually hold my book for me, so I don't have to actually hold it because I'm quite lazy when I'm reading.
Mage hand's best. So I guess I'll greet the room. Hello, everybody. How's the research going?
Been better. Been worse.
He's coming in after you guys have had your discovery about the staff.
So been worse.
All right. Garigar, might I interrupt you for a second?
He turned to her. He's like, "Oh yes. What can I help you with?"
So before all this, I got separated from some people I care about, and I'm just trying to see, where they might be as we kind of prepare for, the next venture in this conflict here. But does the phrase "astral order" mean anything to you?
As you say it, his eyes kind of like nod. He's like, "Yes, actually, that's I know of the order. I do not know much about the order, though." What is
Okay.
it that you want to know?
I was wondering if you know anybody part of the order trying to get into contact with them.
It says, I had a friend in Haramdrum. Her name was Silamine. She was not part of the order, but she worked very closely with them. So she might know something about it, if that's what you're looking for.
What was that town called?
Haramdrum. It is in the Dune Sea. It's where Captain Arenal is from.
All right. Okay, great. Okay, very good. Last question. In all of these, books around us, do you have any readings about portals or the other planes?
He's like, oh yes, there's some information on that. Just follow me, and he kind of starts walking, and as he's walking, he's just kind of grabbing books and handing them to you, and just kind of like laying them on top of the books that you already have, until you have probably about 5 or 6 books that you're carrying around. They're pretty big.
Okay.
And he turns around. He's like, oh, that should keep you busy for a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, great. I'm gonna find another corner.
All right. So you spend a decent amount of time sitting there reading. So what you find reading through the books particularly about the planes of existence is, let me see real quick. Go ahead and roll just an intelligence check.
Okay. Oh, intelligence. That was a 12.
Okay. So going through, you find some information about the planes of existence. You find information about the Everdark. The Everdark is basically this shadowy, it's kind of like opposite polar part of Athane, filled with demons and devils and bad place to go. You find some information about the celestial realm. That's the realm of the gods, and just so where they exist, where they preside, where any of the celestial creatures may come from. You find some information about God, I'm sorry guys, I have something in my throat.
Rona?
Yeah, it's not that, I don't think.
It's
I hope
Corona,
not.
watch
I've
out.
literally been quarantined for like 2-3 weeks at this point, so I've not left my house except to drive around in a car. So I hope not. But anyways, you find some information about an event called the Shattering. And basically this event was so in the world of Athane, there are the 12 gods of Athane. And there's the big bad guy. His name is Malum. And this doesn't go too far in depth about who they are and how to this, but basically there's an event called the Shattering where the 12 basically attempted to force Malum out of the prime material plane, and in doing so they shattered his psyche into multiple different pieces, and his psyche was basically split into different pieces of him, went to these different planes of existence. And basically the 12, after that happened, took it upon themselves to watch over the planes to try and ensure that that part of Malum, which basically became its own entity, was unable to get back into the primary material plane. And as you're reading this, you're kind of having the realization that kind of this duty is very similar to that of the Astral Order.
This is crazy. I didn't learn anything up there. Great. Okay. I'll keep taking notes and just trying to commit things to memory, and then return the books when I'm done.
Okay. So you guys all wrap up the things that you're doing. Elomir, Levi reading, Casimir reading, Steelscar sparring with some guys. Eventually it starts to get dark out. You guys make your way down to the Great Hall, or where Lord Montiverre mentioned there'd be food. You guys get down there. You see the table has all sorts of food on it. You guys sit down, start to eat. Just relax, take a breather. You've had a pretty busy day, like 24 hours at this point.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that long rest.
I bet. I'm actually going to say you got your long rest as part of this. What you were doing.
Like all the reading and
yeah,
stuff.
the reading, because it's been about 8 hours, and a long rest doesn't necessarily mean to be sleeping. It can be just resting.
Okay, so long rest is yay.
Cool.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say even though Steelscar had some combat, I'm gonna say he's still got a long rest in at this point.
His resting state is combat.
Yes, there you go.
It did stop for a while just to catch her.
So as you guys are all sitting there eating, just relaxing, Garigar's down there, Bella's down there. You see Captain Arenal is in there, just kind of like grabbing food. You guys are just kind of taking a breather. When suddenly you guys hear a familiar sound in the distance. You hear a horn blowing.
Ah, crap.
Oh no. How many horns?
You hear the first one. At that moment, everyone kind of like perks up and like looks around. And Captain Arenal immediately runs out the front door. You guys hear another one. At this point, Garigar and Bella get up. They run out after Captain Arenal. You hear a third one.
Oh no. 3 horns. Guys, let's go.
Yep.
You guys making your way outside with them?
Yep.
So we should go.
All right, you guys.
Wait,
Yep.
During this whole time, well, would you say that they were able to get the dents out of my armor?
Yeah, I'd say your armor's been cleaned up and you have it
Alright.
on now.
Perfect. That's what I wanted to know.
Okay. All right. So you guys run outside and you see
Hey, I don't want to die.
you see Captain Arenal, Bella, and Garigar begin to climb up. So there's actually a set of steps kind of on the wall, so you can so the guards can get on top of the wall, and patrol it. And so they begin to climb up those steps. And you guys make your way over there, and you see a bunch of people kind of already standing up there looking off to the south. And as you get up there and you reach the top and you just look into the distance, you see a town in flames.
Which one?
You see the town of Natal burning.
No.
And everyone kind of like looks around at each other and is like, the gnolls have attacked Natal. It burns. Quickly, we must find Lord Montiverre. And that's where we will end tonight's session.
Oh boy.
Battle day.
Natal
Fire.
burn.
Oh no.
There we go. All right, guys. Well,
Why you gotta do this to innocent people, Scott?
man,
What they ever do to you?
it's war.
War never changes.
No.
Never.
All right. Well, everyone, if anyone else has anything to say, go for it. Otherwise, I'll close us out. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. Episode 20. We should be back. We have to check schedules, make sure there's nothing coming up. I mean, we're all pretty much quarantined right now, I think, or close
Speak
to.
for yourself.
Those who can be.
I'm essential, folks. I'm essential.
Feel special.
No, I don't.
We just got told that we can't go outside for even like food and groceries and stuff.
You
so
can't go for food?
yeah, they're like, no, you need to stay inside completely.
Wow. I thought most places would let you go for like food and medicine and stuff. That's
Yeah.
pretty nuts.
So what are you eating now? Scraps?
He's just eating shoes.
I live
Full
off
of
of the
leather.
vapors. With
I'm free
sustains
effectively
me.
every Saturday at this point, so
Okay, cool. All
whenever works for me.
right, well then we will
Yeah.
plan on March. No, wait, no, that's April. Oh my God.
April, homie.
11th,
It's
guys.
April.
That's nuts. All right, so episode 21 will be should be meeting April 11th, assuming no one has anything coming up. And thank you everyone for joining in on this adventure with Advantage. Have a nice night, guys.
Stay safe out there, guys. Don't catch
Yep,
the
stay
corona.
Mm-hmm. Stay
The only
safe.
corona you can have is the beer. Bye, folks.
So long.